What's happening, everybody? I'm Steve, and welcome back to Junkdrummer TV, where I give my initial reactions, my hot takes, and my analysis on the drummers of today and yesterday, and maybe tomorrow if I stick around that long. I am a professional drum teacher and a gigging musician, and I have been for 20 plus years. We haven't done a punk rock drummer in a while, so we're going to do this guy. Now, commenters, I know that lots of you all have been requesting Brooks Wackerman with Avenged Sevenfold, but that would be totally disrespectful for me to do Brooks before the Rev. Everybody who's wanting the Rev, he's next. So I'm going to meet you commenters halfway. You want to see Brooks Wackerman? You want to see Avenged Sevenfold? Well, I need a punk rock drummer, so we're going to do Brooks Wackerman when he played with Bad Religion, and then I'm going to do the Rev on the next episode. And then down the road, I will come back to Brooks, and we'll watch him play with Avenged Sevenfold, and we'll use that as a chance to compare and contrast the two approaches one has to do when you play in a heavy metal band or a punk rock band. Now, I love Bad Religion. Man, I'm a Gen Xer. I grew up in the 90s. Stranger Than Fiction is one of my all-time favorite records. One of my all-time favorite songs is Against the Grain. I love Bad Religion. Only thing I really know about Brooks Wackerman is he's Chad Wackerman's brother, and I'm a Zappa fanatic, so, you know, Chad Wackerman was a drummer that was with Zappa for the last 8 years. Brooks grew up in a drum family. His dad played drums and was a teacher. All of his brothers were drummers and or musicians. They all studied with the same guy, this real legendary drum teacher named Murray Spivak. So that's really the only thing I know about Brooks. So we're going to be watching him today play Submission. So before we get into it, please remember, give me a like, comment, and share. Give me a double tap on the subscription and the notification bell. Please check out my Patreon. Have a PayPal donation if you're interested in those kind of things. Link in the description. And let's get into Brooks Wackerman play with Bad Religion, and they're going to be doing Submission. Oh, it's called Submission Complete. Here we go.
Dedication's the place you play. Initiate at a coddle and cage before you walk. As soon as you crawl, hope is...
Here's something that he's doing right here for all you out there who are trying to work on your time. I'm a big believer in the more you can get all four limbs to move in time, they strengthen other limbs and keep them in time, kind of like gears on a watch. If you notice, he's playing a hi-hat groove here, just eighth note thing, but you see where the hi-hat is moving a little bit. That's because in his left foot, he's rocking it like this. Even though he's not using the hi-hat like you would if you go to the ride cymbal, he's still getting that movement on his left foot. Though that's a real professional trick. The more limbs that you keep moving while you're playing in time will strengthen your time in general. If you're one of those drummers, and I used to be one, where when you're on your hi-hat, you just leave your left foot there and you don't move it, you can get good time. But if you start working on just bouncing that leg with, like you would be doing if you were using the hi-hat with a ride cymbal pattern, you will strengthen your time up. First time I've ever seen Brooks play, but it's weird because he moves just like his brother. I can't say that he plays like him because, you know, I know Chad from playing with Zappa. Yeah, he's a bad boy. There you go. Classic hand-foot coordination thing. I think he's playing a sextuplet, and he's playing 4 notes on his hands, and ending it with 2s down there. Ooh, let me do that again. Faster than that, obviously, but that's another one of those interesting hand-foot coordination things that all drummers need to know. He'll do that lick again. Singer always had, I think, the coolest voice in punk rock. And you know, they weren't really known for, they had breakneck speed songs. What? Whoa. That's something you... What? Man, you never see double bass chop stuff like that in punk rock music. The Bad Religion drummers that I am familiar with never would have played anything like that. That's interesting. That's cool. That's definitely a band being like, hey, you're a drummer coming in and you're playing our style, but feel free to use your stuff. Like, can someone tell me, we're going to bring it back some, can someone tell me another punk rock song that's got double bass like that in it? Maybe he was auditioning for Avenged Sevenfold right there. This is just real straight, right on the metronome type feel. It's not behind funky, and it's not ahead like you would think of like a frenetic punk rock drummer would be. I cause lots of controversy talking about how terrible Travis Barker's technique is, not how great he is, but how terrible his technique is. This is a punk rock drummer that is playing with perfect technique. He's never going to hurt himself. He's playing, this song isn't that fast. He's playing loud and big. He's never going to hurt himself. It's so crazy. Yeah, like that flippy kind of whippy motion in his hands, that looks just like his brother. Yeah. Dude. He's playing some like fusion-y chops right here. You're never going to see that in like your standard punk rock drummer. What the fuck? Man, they're just letting him play. Double strokes. Know your rudiments. Oh, wow. Yeah. Holy shit. Man, there's a good example of a band hiring a drummer and understanding what they got in him and just letting him and having the faith and trust to let him just go. That whole last section right there, that whole drum break kind of thing that he did, that's like classic proggy fusion shit that you just saw right there. Please go back and watch that video without my nonsense on top of it. And really pay attention to that section. So that's a different style of punk rock. Bad Religion does have like down tempo for punk rock songs. And I like it. I like it a lot. Man, I bet you that was a bad day when he quit Bad Religion. I can understand Avenged Sevenfold's a bigger band. Always trying to, make your career go bigger. But man, those cats are like, fuck, we're never going to be able to replace somebody like that. Man, I'd have to say that is some of the best punk rock drumming I've ever seen, period. That goes for Travis Barker, too. And Trey Cool, which Trey's not a virtuoso player at all. He plays great parts. I really like that. I can't wait to see Brooks do his thing with Avenged Sevenfold, where he can really be let off leash with those kind of licks. So, today we saw some, that was just good, solid rock drumming with flourishes of over-the-top, choptastic shit. And if you notice, for me anyway, it was more enjoyable because there was still that meat of a song that I could listen to because they write great songs. Like I said, I love his voice. But then when those drum flourishes came in, it was just a moment and it didn't take away from this great song. That's something we can take away from that. And also the time thing. The more body parts that you can keep in time at the same time, it strengthens your time altogether. Again, always think of it, it's like gears in a timepiece. Me moving this in time keeps this more in time, and this being in time keeps that more in time. And that's something you saw a lot when he was doing on that hi-hat. So, if you enjoyed all that, please give me a like, comment, and share. Remember, subscription on the notification bell. Double tap, subscription, notification bell, Patreon, PayPal, and remember, keep practicing until it's easy.